A man who murdered his 20-year-old niece in a so-called honour killing before dumping her body on wasteland after she refused a forced marriage to her cousin has been jailed for life with a minimum term of 25 years. Mohammed Taroos Khan, 53, was found guilty of killing Somaiya Begum in Bradford, West Yorkshire in July 2022. Ms Begum, a Leeds Beckett University biomedical student, was found dead just over a mile from her home after a major week-long police search. She was discovered with an 11cm long brodall tool, a sharpened metal woodwork implement, stuck in the right side of her chest on a light industrial estate. Ms Begum had been living with her grandmother and another one of her uncles after her parents had been issued with a forced marriage protection order. This followed her refusal to marry a cousin in Pakistan when she was 16 years old by threat of violence, Bradford Crown Court heard. Khan has been handed a life sentence with a minimum term of 25 years at the same court. The Honourable Mr Justice Garnham described Somaiya as an intelligent young woman of spirit and courage. And he told Khan, "We will never know what happened in Binney Street on 25th of June, but I find as the fact you murdered your niece between 3:30 p.m. and 5 p.m. that afternoon. I reached that conclusion from all of the evidence from her movements and use of her phone. After you killed Somaiya, you put her into your car and transported that body in your car to the shipping container at Cartergate Works, where you stored it overnight. I find as fact that's what you could be seen doing when you parked the car near to the container. We know your purpose of going to Fitzwilliam Street was to find a spot to dump Somaiya." Opening the case to jurors just over a week ago, prosecutor Jason Pitter, KC, said Ms Begum had met a traumatic death following a violent attack at her home. Mr Pitter said Khan bundled up his niece's body and it was dumped and left to rot and decompose on a wasteland like rubbish, such that she was not recognisable. The prosecutor said the body was found 11 days later, wrapped in a rug, tied up with string on the land used as a dumping ground on Fitzwilliam Street in Bradford. He said her body was so decomposed it was not possible to find the cause of death, but there was an 11cm long metal spike embedded in her chest which had punctured her lung. Earlier in the trial, jurors were shown CCTV footage of the moment prosecutors say shows Khan dragging Ms Begum's body from his car and dumping it on waste ground. Khan had pleaded guilty to perverting the course of justice by disposing of her body and destroying her phone found in a nearby smouldering bin. Khan denied murder but was found guilty after a trial at Bradford Crown Court. He looked towards the public gallery, where sobs could be heard as the verdict was announced. The court previously heard Ms Begum had been offered up for an arranged marriage at 16 by her dad, Yasin Khan, who wanted her to marry her first cousin in Pakistan, and he was left humiliated and really angry with rage when she refused the proposal and later told the police of his plans, her Aunt Ishraf said in evidence. Both Yasin and his brother Mohammed Khan were prohibited from going to the address where she was living as they held similar hardline attitudes, the court heard. Mr Jason Pitter, KC, prosecuting, said Khan visited the home 3 times on June the 25th last year in his Mitsubishi Space Wagon vehicle and had contacted Ms Begum by phone. Khan had cut a key for the property before he turned up at the address at about 3:50 p.m, the jury was told. Mr Pitter said at around 3:30 p.m, Somaiya Begum sent final messages to her close companion and school friend. Not long after that, her telephone was to cease meaningful use. That coincided with the arrival of her uncle, the defendant, Mohammed Taroos Khan, at her home address in the minutes afterwards. Whilst the prosecution cannot say precisely when Somaiya was killed, you can conclude that something significant had happened around or shortly after that point because there was no apparent further communication between Somaiya and anyone else after that time. Mr Pitter said Khan had gone to the Cartergate Works industrial yard where he had living quarters before returning to Binney Street at around 5:29 p.m. And during the intervening period, the prosecutor told the court Khan had made searches online for large 1-ton capacity rubble bags, including at the B&Q store. He said the CCTV footage showed him opening a door to a container he can be seen to be wearing gloves at the time. He then reversed his car up to the container entrance, however the door was positioned in such a way as to obscure what he was doing from the CCTV camera. Mr Pitter said Khan was discovered by Somaiya's uncle, Dawood, at the property at around 6:30 p.m. after he walked through the home's normally locked front door, and told jurors that it was during this period when Khan was making his plans to finally dispose of her body. Ms Begum's remains were found on the industrial site several days later by police on July the 6th, with a post-mortem examination showing signs of trauma and assault. Mr Pitter said there was some evidence of potential damage to the structure of her neck. In addition, a metal spike about 11 centimetres in length was found embedded in the right side of her chest, puncturing her lung in such a way that it indicated that it was caused prior to her death. Khan's defence counsel, Mr Zafar Ali, described how in the Pathan community which Somaiya belonged, blood feuds could last generations. And he suggested her humiliated father, Yasin, had a motive to kill her after she refused to participate in the marriage he'd arranged for her with her cousin years earlier. He also told the court that Yasin had taken a one-way ticket to Pakistan not long before the trial commenced without giving his family a reason. Mr Ali told the jury his client had been summoned to Binney Street to dispose of Ms Begum's body and knew nothing about the death until after Somaiya had been killed. But the jury decided on the strength of the evidence that Mohammed Khan was guilty of Somaiya's murder following his initial arrest on July the 6th last year. Mr Pitter suggested that her uncle may have murdered her in an honour killing. He said it may be that, as part of it, he advances issues in relation to the family's culture and religion which may have been the misguided justification to kill her. Please like, share and comment and subscribe. Thank you.